All right, hello everybody. Today we're going to rank the Mortal Kombat characters. I came upon this tier list with these pictures, and this was the one I liked the best. I like how it's using the debuting picture of any given character. Very classic looking, which I take to that very much. So these characters that are listed out here, I didn't put them in this order. This is just how they showed up on the page. There's so many of them, so I'm not going to bother like arranging them in some kind of chronological sequence. So the first one we see is, oh, wait a minute. Shit. You know what? I want to add another fucking, I got to add a row. Add a row below. Because we are going to have some F tiers. Okay. All right. First up is Ashra. I'm going to throw her ass in F tier. I like getting started in a very punctual kind of way. I remember her only from Mortal Kombat Deception, and there was just nothing interesting about her to me. She looked like some kind of female Raiden knockoff. She walked around fucking like I slay demons or something. I don't even know. I don't even remember if she was good or bad. This is her problem, is she's so fucking forgettable. I think she's come out in the newest fucking game. I don't know, but for some reason I feel like she looked cooler in that game. Shit, if I played the newest Mortal Kombat game, she could fucking be S tier for all I know. Let's get going on with Baraka. I'm gonna throw Baraka in A tier. I mean, just look at that face. I mean, people remember this guy. Picked him a lot. You know, he was even used in the Mortal Kombat Deception trailer. Remember the fight between Baraka and Melina? They chose him, and for good reason. The two Tarkatans fighting each other. Okay, oh, what's this guy's name? Blaze. I know this one is Blaze. This guy's Torch or something. He's seen in the background of Mortal Kombat 2, I believe. I'm just going to give him D. Even though none of us knew it in the 90s or early 2000s that this guy was going to be the ultimate baddie of the sort of crescendoing Mortal Kombat game. It's kind of like at the end of the day, it was kind of like, who fucking cares? I'm just going to throw Blaze also in D tier. I don't think he's a very good boss. He's just a very standard, like, big lava monster. You know, raw, I'm big lava man. Like, okay, amazing. This dude, there's no chance he would get bumped up this tier list. And if anything, you know what? I'm fucking. He is demoted, and fuck his little buddy too. Ashra, you can just be right here. Just disappointment, and I don't give a shit. You could remove these three from the universe entirely, and I would not miss a fucking wink of sleep over it. All right, Bo Raicho. Okay, at least this guy is way more charismatic than these three. Bo Raicho, I'm feeling like he's a C tier. I think a lot of people hate this guy because he's just ridiculous. He pukes and farts. He's like this trainer guy, which does that make sense? I mean, to be trained by someone that's just like fucked up and drunk all the time and so out of shape. I do remember using this dude a lot in Mortal Kombat X because I just like beating the shit out of people with his staff and getting really good at those combos. At least he's memorable in some way. I totally would not argue with somebody if they threw him in F tier, and I wouldn't argue with someone if he was up even a few notches higher on this list. Cassie Cage, I like her a lot. I'm going to throw her in A tier behind Baraka. She just seems like she has a very interesting personality, and if I was going to watch some sort of Mortal Kombat movie, I'd really like to see an interpretation of Cassie Cage. I just like her slick look, her movement, her agility, flexibility, her two pistols. Who the fuck is this lady? I can't really remember her so well. I mean, I can a little bit. It's coming to me right as I'm speaking. She's got the control over like flowers and forest elements or some shit. Um, I'd be curious to play as her, and I'm gonna throw it right behind Bo Raicho. I mean, she is fighting against nostalgia that so many of these other characters possess, but if she did something to really stand out, I think I would remember a little better and I would rank her higher. But in all fairness, I'd be curious to try playing as her again, whatever the fuck her name is. Chameleon. He looks like someone they were trying to do something cool with, and this looks like a concept that was made that they just didn't circle back to finish. Like they just couldn't come up with anything cooler. I don't know. I didn't pick him so much in Armageddon. I thought he was kind of neat being an MK trilogy. I'm not going to complain about him too much, but I'm not going to give him so much praise either. I think I'm going to throw him up here in C, just behind whoever that is, Tree Lady. All right, Cyber Sub Zero, one of the very few new debuting characters in MK9. Shit, maybe he's the only one. I'll throw him in. I'm gonna throw him top of C. I'm not gonna say too much about him because I don't have a whole lot of memory of him, but the little bits of memory I do have, I remember him doing cool shit and looking cool while doing it. So I'll keep him in C. I'd be very curious to try playing as him again. Okay, Cyrax. I'm gonna throw Cyrax in B. The first thing that comes to mind when I see Cyrax is his green net chest attack. Okay, next we have Dagon. I'm just gonna toss this fucker in F tier. I'm gonna put him right here because these guys had bigger shoes to fill and they fucked it up. This guy's just totally forgettable, uninteresting to me. I don't remember one thing he says or does, and I probably played that conquest mode a handful of times. This guy, Dairu, I can't believe I fucking remembered that. I'm gonna put him in F as well, below Ashra, because he's even more forgettable than Ashra is. Characters like this, and there's plenty more like him, they look like an NPC that you would just pass on the street if you were playing Conquest mode. They don't look like they should be anybody with any sort of bio or story or anything interesting, and they're not. I'm just going to throw him in F tier. I can't remember a goddamn thing about him. This guy, he squeaks out of that class by a little bit. I'm going to give him D. I think this guy has a lot of potential. I forgot to say his name, Darius. I think he has a lot of potential, but ultimately is pretty forgettable. Oh, what's this fucker's name? Oh man, I feel like it's Draman. Okay, Draman. I'm gonna throw in D as well. He just looks all fucked up and like his skin is burned off. I don't know how it happened. I would take fucking 20 seconds out of my life to read a bio card on this guy, whereas I wouldn't with anybody in F tier. So that's the reason he's in D. Devora. I never much cared for picking her. I can see how she's cool for a lot of people. She's definitely not someone I would want to fight in real life because I just have a real fucking phobia of bugs and shit. Uh, so she is kind of creepy and weird. She bleeds blue, which it's like, why did they do that? Blugs. Bugs don't even bleed blue in real life, so I don't even really know what I'm complaining about. Not a particular favorite of mine. I'm gonna put her in C, probably right here. All right, Ermac. Okay. Well, I love how this guy came to be. So he wasn't a secret character; he was just a glitch. But then they turned that glitch into a real character. So I find that really cool. There was only a matter of time before they were going to make a red ninja anyway. I just think like how he got his name and how he came to be is super cool. So he's kind of like Scorpion and Sub Zero, which they're sort of like Fire and Ice, and Reptile, who's about acid, and then you have the red one, who's about, well, fire's already taken, buddy. So what else we got? Magic and soul stealing, the usual stuff. All right, works. Okay, this guy's a culmination of like a bunch of souls and shit. Good for you, Ermac. I'm gonna throw him in A tier. Okay, Aaron Black. All right, interesting one. Well, this guy is definitely memorable. I think Aaron Black is pretty cool. I'm gonna put him at the back of B tier for now. Yeah, he's got like the cowboy thing going on, and he's a hard ass. Looks like a bad motherfucker. It's always cool to see what his move set was gonna be. I hope he stays around. Aaron Black is pretty cool. All right, Ferrator. I never fucking picked this guy playing Mortal Kombat X. I actually specifically remember this fuck as the only one that I never picked in Mortal Kombat X. And I guess it's just because I see him and I'm like, he looks slow and clunky, and I'm not all about that so much, so I just fucking avoided him. I think he's got some shit going for him. I think the top of D is perfect for him. If people had him up way higher, I wouldn't argue with him. Frost, eh. I remember hearing some of the game developers saying they remember Backlash. that they got for creating the character of Frost. It's like you already have a Sub-Zero, why just make another one only female? Yeah, I mean, I don't really see the point of Frost so much if you do have Sub-Zero already. I think Frost's design was absolutely terrible when she first debuted, but her look in MK11 really did a lot to redeem her. I don't know, man. Like, I really don't know. I'm just going to throw her in D, but I would say the top of D because I'd probably be more apt to pick her over these three. I mean, at the end of the day, Sub Zero does cool shit. She's a lot like Sub Zero, so that means she does cool shit too. I just think she was kind of unnecessary. Fujin, okay, so you have a god of thunder, and now you have a god of wind. Did we really need a god of wind? Seems like kind of a stretch, like to be a god of fucking air movement. I think he is kind of cool being all fucking like wind gaudy and everything. Oh man, I don't know whether to take him to the back of B or I'm gonna throw him top of C. Yeah, top of C. That's perfect. All right, Garrus, I believe. Okay, this dude is came in late in the game, so he has the ability to displace time and shit, which you would think would be such a massive headache and even trying to implement in gameplay. This is like fucking Christopher Nolan stepped into the office and just like, I want to make this guy, and then told them like how to implement him. So he's interesting for sure. I'm gonna throw this dude in I'll give him top of C tier. I'd be interested to play as him again more than any of the characters below him. So obviously that's a big part of the criteria. I'd give this guy a fair shake again. Goro, S tier. Goro is one of the most memorable icons in all of Mortal Kombat. He debuted in the first game, and his atmosphere, his level is fucking terrifying. A basement dungeon with blood and chains and skeletons hanging on the walls. Just look at this picture. He's so scary. He's supposed to be half human, half dragon. That's not exactly what I picture a half human, half dragon looking like. He's got the forearms. I mean, you don't forget something like that when you're a kid. I think he carried over even to the movie pretty interestingly, at least in a way that's memorable. As a big puppet, did look kind of silly, but such charm to it. It's better than watching fucking bad CGI like in that terrible fucking remake. I know I just lost a lot of you right there because you liked the Mortal Kombat movie that came out in 2021. I thought it was fucking horrendous. Don't even fucking get me started on it. That's a whole nother video in and of itself. If this was a fucking tier ranking of the Mortal Kombat movies, that one that came out in 2021 would be an F. All right, let's move on. Havoc. Havoc, pretty memorable, pretty cool, pretty odd. Oh, I will throw him in mid B tier. I might throw him below Aaron Black. Yeah. So he's like the agent of chaos. I like that you see this picture and you instantly think, okay, this character is evil. But he's not defined as that. That's not on his bio card. This dude is neutral. And I like that. All right, Hataru. Right? Hataru. Okay, I think the flags sticking out of his fucking back are really stupid looking. I hate them a lot. I'm going to give him F tier. Um, just a fucking like douchebag. Uninteresting, uninspired. So this dude is polar opposite of Havoc, supposedly. Havoc is all about the chaos, and Hataru is all about the order. I just think he's fucking like ridiculous looking, though. I think he looks so stupid. I hate the flag sticking out of his back. I think his armor is ugly. His hair has already been taken. So have the eyes. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't fucking know what to tell you. I just don't dig it. Su Hao F. Here, right there. Hats like this are reserved for cooler characters like General Arumov. You're not worthy of it. There's nothing interesting about you. You don't have any story. Even your own makers hated you so much that they wrote you out of the game. Just an uninteresting piece of shit. You're not even worth talking about anymore. Who is this? Jackie Briggs? I think her arm guns are pretty sweet. Yeah, maybe right here. Jade. Okay, well, she's got that staff that she whips a lot of ass with. She sure whipped mine with it a whole lot. I remember I'd get to her in arcade mode when I play Mortal Kombat trilogy, and she would bust the shit out of me. She'd juggle my ass all over the place until I was dead. I'll give her near the top of C tier. Jarek. Oh, okay, again, this looks like some fucking naked man just wandered into the wardrobe department of a Mortal Kombat set and found whatever was left laying over and put it on, and now he's a Mortal Kombat character. No, this dude is some guy you see in the background. He should be an NPC. He should be just another guy fucking like shopping in a thrift mart in the Mortal Kombat universe. He shouldn't be somebody that's actually playable. This dude is going straight into F tier. I'm gonna throw him right here. Why guys like him and guys like Kai? I'm just gonna put him there right now. The reason characters like this get F tier is because I have nothing I can possibly say about them, and it annoys me a lot that roster spaces were taken up by people like these. You know, look at these characters up here. You know, look at how much like personality, characteristic, memorableness is going on here. What the fuck are these two clowns doing in here? Jax, I'm gonna throw Jax into B tier. I think I'm gonna put him right there. Jax is a classic character. One of the first things that comes to mind when thinking about Jax is the sound design when he pounds the shit out of people. He's far from one of my favorites, but he's pretty dope. All right, Johnny Cage. Johnny fucking Cage, man. I think I'm gonna throw this guy in A tier. Oh, man, this guy has more personality than like a whole row of these characters put together. There's so much darkness and grittiness and shittiness in Mortal Kombat. There's so many like shithead characters and these like dark fucking stoic cryptic personalities. It's good to have somebody that brings so much levity. He doesn't wear a shirt and he wears fucking sunglasses. That's like the first way I think of him. He's got a big tattoo of his own goddamn name on his own chest. So like while he doesn't have a very flashy costume, he totally makes up for it with his fucking pizzazz and his personality and his sense of humor and his ego. Like all of it is very present and obvious. Cabal. I think Cabal is pretty sweet. I love that he's a mystery man with this breathing apparatus on, that if he takes off, it'll kill him. And I also like the fatality when he does take it off. There's like a monster underneath. I think he has a really cool character design. I'm going to say Cabal. He's up there for me. I'll probably put him just behind Baraka. You know, when they made Mortal Kombat 9, they were bringing back all the original trilogy characters. One of the characters I was most excited to see again was Cabal. It was really fun to play as him. I picked him a lot. Kano, a classic character. I think like people see or hear this character and it's like they almost forget that he was in the first game. There's only 7 playable characters that debuted in the first game, and he was one of them. I think as time went on, they made him better and better. I think he has just as much personality as Johnny Cage does. It's just all rooted in total darkness. I mean, you could look at both Kano and Johnny Cage and call them both narcissistic, but you still would rather hang out in a room alone with Johnny Cage than you would Kano, because Kano just has absolutely no fucking qualms about putting a very interesting looking knife in your jugular. I'll throw him in A tier, but I'll have him at the back. Kenshi. I'm going to put Kenshi. This is one of my personal favorites. And the characters I'm looking at now that I've already ranked, I think this dude's going to crack the top 3. I'm going to say, I'm going to put him near the top of A tier. Kenshi is very fucking memorable. He has a very cool move set. He's a blind guy, but he has very keen sense and telekinetic abilities. It's just super memorable to me. I'm going to stick him in A tier. Okay, Chameleon, but the female version. Nothing to say. Putting her in C tier right next to the other one. Kintaro. Okay, well, he's not as iconic as Goro. It's like they tried to make him the Goro 2.0, but a few tiger stripes and that look on your face is not going to like put you alongside Goro in S tier. Kira. I like this character. I'm going to put Kira. I should probably put her below Kano just because Kano brings so much more personality and memorableness. But I'm putting this character in A tier as well because I picked her a lot in Deception. I think I'm one of the few people that would have her up this high, and I kind of sort of get it. It's like what's special about her? She's forgettable. Not to me, she's not. I think she has a cool design and a cool moveset. And had she been given a little more tender love and care, I think she could have been a culmination of both Sonya and Kano, a sort of example of what Sonya would become had she ever allowed herself to become as evil as Kano in her pursuit of him. All right, Katana. B. Below Cyrex. Her fans are what's the most memorable part about her. She is a classic character, but I never found myself picking her too much. You know what? I should probably actually put her down in C. Cobra. Okay, so here we got a guy trying to be Ken from Street Fighter. Okay, well, having Ken's shaggy blonde hair and throwing on a fucking gi and taking off your shoes and socks does not make you a fucking cool character automatically. I'm gonna put him in F tier. I'll probably throw his ass. He's not wearing stupid flags on his back, so I'll give him the top of F tier. For some reason, he walks around barefoot everywhere. You know, that people that do that are like trying to be connected with the earth or something. You ask them like, "Hey, why do you walk around barefoot everywhere?" Oh, it just like makes me feel at one with like nature and the earth and stuff. But this guy's like allegiance is evil as shit. So I'm kind of confused. Like you walk around barefoot to be like more earthly and shit, but then you're just an evil fuck. So like what are you trying to do? Are you trying to be like a monk or are you trying to be just like an asshole? I don't know. I just don't understand. He's just a fucking knockoff of Ken, and there's really nothing else to say about him. Oh, I don't even remember this fucking thing's name. I mean, the picture looks kind of cool with the red eyes and the hood and the blue face and everything, but I think it's just some kind of fucking like weird anorexic looking man spider thing. I'll just put him at the back of D. Forgettable and moving on. Kotal Khan. All right. So we got that name Khan going again. Is he supposed to be synonymous with Shao Kahn? Well, he's like an emperor dude of sorts, right? He looks like a big brooding motherfucker that would just be mean about everything, but I think he's like one of those dudes that like is still fair at the end of the day. Like he has like a code and stuff. Yeah. Near the top of C tier feels right to me for Kotal Khan. He has a pretty intimidating looking weapon, I'll give him that. Oh, what's this fucker's name? Oh, I can't remember this guy's name. I'm going to throw both of them at the back of B tier because I did pick them a lot. Even though I can't remember their names, I do know I picked these guys a lot because I had a lot of fun with this dude's whip chains and this guy's bow and arrow. All right, Kung Lao, top of S tier. Might be my favorite character in the entire franchise. I love this whole blending of Clint Eastwood with Jet Li. It's the Western look mixed with the Eastern look. He is an absolutely beautiful, graceful character, but also totally fucking brutal. His hat is one of the most iconic fucking weapons slash articles of attire in the entire fucking universe. Not just in the Mortal Kombat universe, just like in general in the fucking universe of existence as we know it. Lee May, I'm gonna give her D tier, but kind of close to this Darius fella. Okay, look, you can kind of see a little bit of a pattern here. I'm giving a little bit of edge to women that I find extremely fucking sexy. Yeah. Okay. So what? It's like okay, buddy, can you find anything less superficial? No. Liu Kang. All right. Well, the dude is just like the main man of the entire fucking game. At least the first half of the franchise. I mean, he was your star, and I think he held that responsibility and title up pretty good. I think he's a pretty well-made character. I mean, totally based straight off of Bruce Lee, but you know, fuck it, it works. I'm gonna put him in. I think I'll have him like mid A tier. That looks about right to me. I mean, there's so much legacy behind him that it's hard to place him any lower. He's got the fucking dragon animality thing going on. It's just great to like, whoa, you know, it's wonderful. Okay, moving on. Movado F tier. Boop. Tell me one fucking thing about Movado that stands out and is interesting, slightly interesting. Nothing. He looks like a dollar store Max Payne. He has like fucking red ropes that he throws around. Just fuck you. Meat. They had the character model of someone that's lost their skin for the fatality, so they just decided to make it into a character. All right, wonderful. Okay, Melina, we're cracking A tier. I'll probably say even above Baraka. I love that she is the same race as Baraka, only she hides it behind this mask. She has some amazingly brutal fatalities, really cool fucking moves. She's agile, she's fast. Melina is an excellent character. Used in the Deception trailer, it was her and Baraka fighting. Great choices to have in your trailer. Mocap, it's just right in there with Meat and Draman here, I guess. I don't have much to say. It's just another one of those things where it's like, okay, I know you guys like to be silly sometimes, but do you have to be this silly? I mean, if you want to be, go ahead. It's your game. I'll pick him just out of sheer curiosity, but he doesn't do much else for me. Why the hell is he wandering around in the Nether Realm in a fucking mocap suit? Are you putting people like this in the game because you're out of ideas or because you just think it'd be funny? Uh, Moloch, is it? I forget this big brute's name. Sort of in the same class again. Only I think his look is more memorable as like a big troll, like you'd see in Lord of the Rings or something. This big fucking like cave troll thing. Maybe I'll give him even a little more credit. I'll put him maybe in close proximity to Ferrator. I'm actually going to bring Frost down just because I can at least appreciate the uniqueness they were going for with these two characters a little bit more. Motaro, damn. Well, I remember like being so interested in playing as this character when I was a kid. I specifically sought out MK Trilogy because I knew you could play as him in the game. I picked up the Nintendo 64 version and he wasn't playable in that. And I was like, what? No, no, that's the whole goddamn reason I got this. I wanted to play as Motaro. I had to get the PlayStation version in order to play as Motaro. So they were trying to go for kind of the same thing, I think, as to make somebody as big and bad as Goro was, just like a new, like, right hand man. They were trying to do that with Motaro, and I think they came about as close as they could. Even if he popped up as an NPC, it was kind of like, wow, that was Motaro. Like, you'd give more shit about that than you would, like, if you saw somebody like fucking Fujin pop up in the forest. It's like, ooh, well, Fujin, yeah, who gives a shit? But if it was Motaro, that was like a bigger deal because he's pretty larger than life. I know a lot of people hate the decision they made to remove his back legs for the inclusion in Armageddon, but from what I understand, they had to. They either had to get rid of the back legs or get rid of him altogether. I'm happy that they still included him in the game, even if he was changed from a centaur to a minotaur. Apparently, it's like I didn't really even give a fuck. All right, Nightwolf. Okay, he's pretty memorable. He's not like super iconic or anything, but he's a familiar face. He definitely belongs in B tier to me. I'd say I like him maybe just a tad lower than Jax. Um, yeah, like his tomahawks and his headband and face paint and whole Native American theme is pretty cool. I'm not like fucking blowing confetti all over the goddamn living room right now talking about Nightwolf, but he's far from having any qualities that I don't like about him. I think he's a pretty fair, well-rounded character, and I'm always happy to try him out whenever I'm playing the game. Um, Natara. I never thought much of this character. When I found out she was in the 2021 movie, and I was like, why? Who gives a fuck about Natara? She's a vampire. Okay, whoop de doo dah. Let's just go middle of D. I don't remember anything about her really. Noob Saibot. Interesting. Okay. Well, his name was birthed out of the co-creators of the game, Ed Boon, John Tobias, name spelled backwards, but I think if you're watching this list, that's not fucking big news to you. I'm gonna throw Noob Saibot. I kind of want to throw him at the top of B tier. I mean, he's the all black shadow ninja. They kept coming out with different palettes of these ninjas, and sooner or later they were gonna get to black, and they made him all fucking shadowy and cryptic and mysterious for a while, and then you find out he's like the dead Sub-Zero or something. Yeah, his move set I remember being super fucking cheap in Mortal Kombat Trilogy, but I was always happy to see different iterations of him in subsequent games. Okay, Onaga, I think that he did the job of being a memorable boss character way better in Deception than Blaze did in Armageddon. That intro scene to Deception is pretty fucking awesome, and it's hard for me to skip over it anytime I would play Mortal Kombat Deception. He's an intimidating presence. His roar sounds kind of stupid, roar, kind of dumb, but he looks like very much in the vein and in the style, the tradition of what Mortal Kombat should be. Maybe just beneath Kotal Khan. I like the design of Kotal Khan a little bit more. All right, Quan Chi. I've always liked the design of this character. Mortal Kombat 9 comes out. It's Kenshi and Quan Chi, the only characters outside the original trilogy to make the roster of the game. Says a lot about him. He's super fucking evil. He's super fucking mean and bad, and you don't want to fuck with him. He's very powerful. I remember his super awful fatality in Deadly Alliance with stretching the neck. Hilarious. And then beating the shit out of you with your own leg in 4. Definitely an A tier. He's just a very memorable villain for me. I'm going to throw him up here right above Baraka, right behind Molina. Raiden, iconic, memorable. I mean, I'm staring at a giant ass poster of Raiden that I have sitting across from me in my living room. I have a classic Mortal Kombat 2 poster of him summoning lightning from the sky. Just like with Kung Lao, like he's got one of them fucking hats that you just ain't gonna forget. It's more than what could be said of Stryker's hat. But Raiden's super iconic. Always fun to see different iterations of him. I'm gonna throw him. He's definitely making A tier, that's for sure. Yeah, I think I'll put him maybe just below Liu Kang. That looks right to me. Rain. Okay, so we have ninjas that are based around elements: fire, ice, acid, magic, and then we get to purple, and his element is water. Has anyone ever seen any purple water? I haven't, but I would like to. I would drink in it. I'd bathe in it. I'm getting off track. Rain, while there's nothing about him that really sticks out in the realm of iconicness, they were just trying to fucking like do everything in the color wheel when it came to these goddamn ninjas, and they get the purple and they called him Rain, and he's the Prince of Edenia. Yeah, we all know what's going on there. Yeah, I really loved that they included him in Mortal Kombat 9, even though he was DLC. I think it was just cool that he was in that game, and I like that they took him back to his traditional ninja look. I think he looked fucking stupid as shit in Armageddon. So bad that I didn't even want to pick his ass. He should look like a ninja, and I'm glad he looked like one in MK9. I'll give him B, top of B. Reiko, okay, interesting one here. Here we have the debuting picture of him in Mortal Kombat 4, and a lot of you would probably lump him in with characters as uninteresting and unflattering and forgettable as Kai and Jarek. However, I sort of like Reiko's look here. He kind of looks like Robin, just like an evil Robin. But I really love his look in Armageddon. I can't really tell you exactly what it is, but his look in Armageddon is so fucking badass to me. I love it. And I remember he threw like those ninja stars and shit. And he has this big fucking hammer. Oh man, this is another one I'm going to place super high up on the list, and a lot of people will be like, I don't understand. Dude, it's just really like just a personal appreciation thing that I have for his design and look. Oh, he doesn't have the iconic status really, so I can't in good conscience put him too high up in A, but I think I'm going to give him sort of the mid back of A. Reptile, all right. We're going all the way back to MK1, the very first secret character. That in and of itself is already a massive legacy. The way they introduced him as a secret character was super cool. He's one of the first secrets in video game history, for Christ's sakes. And they didn't do much with that in the first game. He just had the same movesets as Scorpion and Sub-Zero, but by 2 he had his own identity, and he was spitting and throwing acid all over the place. He's going in A tier, definitely. We're in A tier. We're near an A plus territory here with Reptile. A lot of people don't like his evolution throughout the franchise. He got more and more lizard-like. And for a while, I didn't like that either. I preferred he just would have stayed in Ninja. But at the same time, it's kind of cool that one of the characters has this like really fucking wild, drastic evolution throughout the franchise. It's kind of cool they did that with somebody. Um, at the end of the day, though, I think he looks stupid in Deadly Alliance, and I just prefer the traditional ninja look. Serena, we're kind of going into D tier because I can't cast too much shade at her for any reason, but she's also very forgettable. I think she belongs in the same realm as like Natara and Lee May. I'll give her in the middle. I know she was in Sub Zero Mythologies, but I haven't played that game since I rented it from Blockbuster in 1990, fucking 8 or 9. So it's a little bit hard for me to remember Serena. I just don't think she was ever given the opportunity to be explored or fleshed out or given a new iteration that's memorable. Scorpion, he's got to go in S. He just has to. He just has to. I'll probably give him, yeah, number 2 spot. In a way, Scorpion is Mortal Kombat. I mean, he has occupied the cover of the game all by himself. He's so iconic. He is like the flagship character of the entire franchise. I mean, it makes sense that he was made to be that because he's the goddamn game creator's favorite character. So he was always given the most attention to detail and tender love and care in his design. His design, it never went outside the boundaries of Scorpion being a ninja, but it always tried to do a little something different each time he appeared in a game, which I like that. They wanted to stay true to him, but they didn't want to fuck him up or make him anything that he was not. It was a massive mistake not to have him in the original Mortal Kombat 3. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. I think they were just trying to get away from like all the ninja characters, but I mean, people love the ninja characters, so that didn't make any sense. That was a mistake. All right, so Sector, I don't think of him as a yin to Cyrax's yang. I just think of them more as a pairing that differentiate in slight ways. Sector is more about rockets and projectiles that track your ass down, and Cyrax is more about throwing fucking nets at you and dropping grenades underneath your balls. I mean, I can't really give an edge to one above the other. I think they're equally cool. I did like Cyrax's look a little bit more in MK9 than Sector's. But I'm just going to leave it the way it is because I could think of something else that would put Sector above Cyrax. So just like as you're looking at them there, just consider them the same exact ranking because they are. Shang Tsung, oh man, it is so hard to rank this character and not think of the actor's portrayal in the movie from 1995. I can't say his name. It's like Kerry Tagawa or something. But that actor's portrayal in the movie was one of the prime examples of perfect casting in motion picture history. Yeah, I'm gonna weigh that into this a little bit. It just fucking is. It's just the way it is. It's gonna weigh in. He's always fun to pick as a character, see what they're doing with him. I mean, he's an amazing villain. To get the whole franchise started, he hits just the right note. I'm gonna put him close proximity to Quan Chi. I think just a step above Quan Chi. All right, Shao Kahn. Okay, so Shao Kahn's really stuck around for a while. Like, he did not ever want to leave this franchise. There was always some way for him to be involved in it. I think he fills the shoes of a main baddie very, very well. The actor's portrayal in Annihilation was amusing, but that's really all I'm going to say about that. Um, Look, I would say he's serviceable and then some. Like, he fills the shoes he's supposed to fill. He's not somebody like I select a whole lot. He certainly is a pain in the ass to fight anytime you're playing the game. All right, Shiva. Okay. Well, this picture is very creepy. In Mortal Kombat Trilogy, I always found her character model to be pretty creepy looking. Like, her skin looks dead. She almost looks like a zombie. I just would be terrified if she was chasing me through an alley. I'd say she's definitely going to land somewhere in B tier. I'll put her just a step above Kintaro. Shinnok. All right. Well, when you think about the baddies of MK4, you picture Shinnok alongside Quan Chi, but Shinnok is a little bit more like front and center because he's supposed to be the main baddie, but Quan Chi ends up taking more of the limelight. But to me, he wasn't forgettable, but he didn't do a whole lot to stand out either. So I think this guy deserves I'm gonna give him the far back end of B tier. Yeah. Shujinko, F. I see his picture and I just think of his atrocious voice acting throughout the entire Conquest mode, even as a kid, teenager, young adult, all the way to an old man. He's a boring ass fuck. This fucking Shujinko husk was just like who this fucking host I embodied to just like walk through the Conquest mode. But the character himself is fucking sucks. He fucks everything up by getting all these kami dogus and fucks up everything for the whole universe and every dimension. So he's an idiot. He gets so old so fast, and everyone else stays the same age. He's not cool. He's not like Mr. Miyagi or anything. Like, old martial artists can be cool, but he just seems to be fucking confused all the time, and it never has anything interesting to say or do. And when he does, it's done with bad voice acting. Just a fucking disappointing piece of shit. You know, just terrible. I have nothing else to say. I'm gonna move on. Sindel, I think she's got a couple of qualities and moves that make her unique, like the hair and the screaming. She floats around. She shoots purple shit at you. I feel like I should put her close to Katana. Maybe maybe right below Katana and Jade. But nothing I can point out in Sindel that I absolutely despise or even dislike really. So just like straight up middle of the road. She's about as middle of this list as it's gotten. Scarlet. Okay. Well, at first, I thought Cyber Sub Zero was the only new debuting character in MK9, but Scarlet was as well. And she does look pretty cool, but to be honest, I'm just not quite a big fan of like these blood moves. Like, there's already so much blood that flies around in Mortal Kombat, so I don't think we really need a character that's just has all their moves based around it because there's already enough of it flying around all over the place. In fairness, I'll just put her in the middle of the list. There's nothing much more I can say about her. All right, so Smoke, I'm gonna put him at the back. I think I like Sector and Cyrax just a little bit more than Smoke, but I mean he fits right in on this spot in the list. Pretty fucking cool, pretty respectable B tier he has here. We see versions of him as a human and as a robot. He's got that very memorable and over the top fatality in MK3 where he drops all the grenades out of his chest and blows up the entire world. Sonya, one of the classic characters going all the way back to MK1, taken out of MK2 along with Kano because the two of them were the least played characters. But Sonya went on to be a pretty respectable character in the franchise. I really liked her agility and moveset in MKX. I'll put her in close proximity to Kano. I think I'll put her right above him. All right, Striker. Well, he looks really fucking lame in MK3. I mean, it looks like someone just grabbed some clothes at Walmart and ran to the fucking motion capture studio. I know they were trying to make him look cool and bring him back from looking so lame in 3, and I think they succeeded. But then they reined it back to his sort of original look, but a better version of that original look in MK9, and I think that's where Striker's wardrobe is the best and how he should look. If you picked him, you could really be kind of a dick with him. Definitely going to throw him in B tier. I'm going to say, yeah, close proximity to Jax, but maybe just above him. That looks perfect. Sub Zero. Wow, we don't have many characters left, and one of the biggest, most iconic ones remains to be placed on this list. Have to give him S tier. I'll say just behind Scorpion. There's really not much I can say about it. You all know why Sub Zero is an S tier. One of the first I'll try in any given game. It would be disappointing to ever have a Mortal Kombat game come out without Sub Zero. It was disappointing when Scorpion wasn't in 3. It was also disappointing when Sub Zero didn't have a mask in 3. I mean, I think anyone that knows and loves Mortal Kombat will always associate Scorpion and Sub Zero with the game. Before any other image pops in your head, you'll think of these two. I think in most cases. Tanya, she was in X, I believe, as one of the downloadable characters. So they tried to like bring her back in, and I remember feeling like, why Tanya? There's only like You're only bringing in 4 DLC characters, and why is fucking Tanya one of them? But I remember trying her out and feeling okay about her. I'll put her, yep, right there. Right there. That looks pretty good. Uh, Taven. Mortal Kombat fails miserably when it comes to their main conquest characters. I don't have a son, but if I were to, I always told myself I kind of like the name Taven, so I would name him Taven. But then I remembered like, but Taven sucks as a character. It literally made me change my mind on how to name my son. So that's why he's an F tier. Fuck Taven and fuck Shujinko. Those two should just be like punched in the dick and thrown off of a high place. Where the hell is Dagon? He should just be right here fucking with him, to be honest. Right there. Okay, Tremor. Well, they sure took their sweet ass time getting around to the brown color of the ninja palettes. I know this guy appeared, I think, in Special Forces, but everyone on Earth that's ever played or heard of that game hates it, so not many people got to see this guy. When they finally did get around to making him a playable fighting character, I gotta say, I was thoroughly impressed. So he doesn't have any sort of nostalgia going for him. It just doesn't exist because he just wasn't given the opportunity to appear in early games. He didn't fucking come around till X. But I was so excited to see the Brown Ninja finally is making a debut. He's the ninja of the earth, man. Yeah, I like him, and I'm gonna put him in B. I think right behind Rain. And last but not least, we have Cyber or Triborg. I think this character is pretty damn cool. They wanted to blend Sector Cyrax and Smoke. I remember he was just so fucking fun to play as. I didn't want to create a whole nother row, so I moved Shinnok down into C, and that felt right to do. I mean, you basically just got to fucking be any one of these three just by picking him, and it works for me. He definitely belongs right here with them. All right, so let's look over the list and decide, is this where everyone belongs? I'm trying to think if there anybody else that I would say deserves S tier, really. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite just a few more characters into S tier. That's characters like Johnny Cage and Kenshi. I think those are the two that I'll include there, and I'll just stop right there. Put Cassie Cage up a notch. Bring Ermac just above Reiko there. Put Kano above Sonya. You know what? This is a little bit tough to do, but I'm going to have to put Tremor above Rain. I can't let it come down to a fucking color being the reason why I put one ninja above another. So this is right before I upload this video. I just want to finalize a few more thoughts. I looked over this list that I put together about a week ago at this point, and I changed my mind on a few of these placements. There were some things I either failed to consider, or I reevaluated, or I looked into things that I had forgotten. I wanted to do at least a little bit of homework before finalizing this to make it a more well-rounded assessment. So a couple of the changes I'm going to make here. Cabal, I'm going to nudge up more into the A plus territory. I'm going to downgrade Reptile just a little bit. I'm going to bring Havoc down just below Fujin. And instead of pairing Sonya next to Kano, I'm going to pair her next to Jax, but right above him. Khan, I'm going to bring back behind the Cyborgs. Garrus, I'm going to put above Shinnok. Mocap, I'm going to bring down into F tier. I don't know what I was thinking having him in D. I guess because I thought I was amused by him, but if you just stare at him for a little bit longer than 3 seconds, you realize that he is absolutely F tier material. Hataru's flags are still stupider than his mocap suit. Aaron Black, I'm going to bring up right above Striker. His weapons are just cooler than Striker's. I'm actually going to move the Chameleons to the back of D tier, giving everybody else in that row a little bump up. There's just a bit more creativity going on with everybody that's now above them. The only claim to fame these two have is being secretive characters that are translucent and crossfade around the color wheel. While that might be kind of pretty to look at and kind of neat, like, oh yeah, look at that. Um, at the end of the day, I think I'm going to give a little bit more favor to characters that at least had a few more seconds or minutes of thought put into them. Even though I didn't think I was going to fiddle around with this F row anymore, I actually am going to bring this fucking nobody named Kai up to F plus because I at least think his wardrobe in Armageddon is somewhat cool. It's at least cooler than everybody else in this row, or at least I don't hate it as much. I'm also going to bring Kintaro down to the very bottom of B tier. I just think these characters are more fun to play as. I'll actually back Shiva up back there too. I don't know that we're going to see these guys in another MK game because they do look sort of generic. They might just be a flash in the pan, but even so, I think they both just have a fun moveset. I'm also going to bring the Collector up above Meat and Draman and bring Meat behind Draman. And the last thing I want to do is invite two more characters into S tier. Not because S tier looks like it could just use some more bodies, but because I legitimately believe that these two people belong in S tier. That's Melina and Cabal. Melina, I think, is just consistently excellent, and I'm always fascinated by her character, her appearance, her fatalities, her concept, her story. She's my favorite girl in Mortal Kombat. And Cabal is just a personal favorite of mine, and I have fun playing as him and seeing new iterations of him anytime a new game comes out. If he's not in a new Mortal Kombat installment, I'm always really bummed out. Oh, and before we close it out, just two more characters get an upgrade. Tremor's going from B plus to A minus, and Garrus is going from C plus to B minus. And a little bit more rearranging in S. Now we're going to have one more rearrangement. We need to end on a banger note. I'm going to move one more character from somewhere on this list into S tier. And not even to the back of S tier. I mean towards the front. Maybe towards the very front. And that character is Shang Tsung. I'm going to say he's my second favorite character in the Mortal Kombat universe. Now, yes, a lot of that has to do with the actor's portrayal in the movie from '95. However, that same actor voiced the character of Shang Tsung in the video game. I wish he had gotten the chance to do it in early installments in the very beginning, but he did come on board eventually. So the actor and this character, the likeness, are uncanny at this point. What's interesting about Shang Tsung is he started out as the first villain and what you could consider the smallest villain in terms of like, okay, after Shang Tsung, your next villain is Shao Kahn, so they make his body type much larger, and then you move on to characters like Onaga, eventually even bigger body, more intimidating, and then go even beyond that to Blaze, which is okay. Now we're just into the realm of ridiculous. But the bigger they get physically, the smaller they get complexually. He's evil, but he's riveting and layered and interesting and well performed, well written, an excellent culmination of conceptualization. And no matter how many Mortal Kombat games they come out with, I don't know that they'll ever be able to match that of Shang Tsung. It might be apples and oranges, but I don't think anyone's ever going to truly move him from the top. Yep, that's how I'm going to finalize this list. Now, something I need to make mention before I finalize this video is that Mortal Kombat 1, that's what it's called, even though I think it should be 12 because now everything is just fucking confusing. By now, you've probably gathered that I have yet to play Mortal Kombat 1. I don't even have a fucking PlayStation or an Xbox anymore, so I can't just like run to the store and play that game and incorporate that experience into this tier list. It's just not going to happen. This is a tier list based on my experience and memories from the original Mortal Kombat all the way to Mortal Kombat 11. Some of them games I played a lot, and some of them I didn't play very much. So to summarize, everyone's placement on this list has everything to do with their lasting memory, my fondness or lack thereof, how cool they are with their looks and their moveset and their backstory, if I know any of it. This isn't a ranking based on like who you should pick if you're playing a fucking Mortal Kombat video game tournament. This list isn't for those folks. This is just my own personal list. All right, everybody. So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around this long. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for other tier lists, and please make suggestions to me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Thanks for watching.